Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great day. If you weren't in class, make sure you complete this warm-up from AP Classroom so that you can get credit for doing that. And then if you were here, you can go ahead and move on to the debrief. If you weren't here, complete the warm-up, do the whole activity, and then come back to this video for the debrief. Here's the activity itself. You'll do questions 1 through 4 from your previous knowledge, and then 5 through 10 are all new, but you can still do it. All right, good luck. Okay, so if you were here, then you've already done these. These were from 1 through 4 is all binomial. So remember to check this when it's binomial bins so that you can use binomial calculations. And then the formula that we were using, just as a reminder, is P of x equals x. And then we have n choose x, p to the x times 1 minus p to the n minus x. You always need to show work with the formula, but I do want to remind you how to use the calculator. So I have that pulled up and I will show you that. For this one, remember, you learned this before, but just in case you forgot, second vars, and you can scroll up. We use binom PDF for equal signs. So we had 10 trials, probability of success 0.2, and our x value is 2. You can hit paste, and we get 0.302 for number 2. And then anything with an less than sign, that's binom CDF. So we have that one. We had 10 trials, 0.2. For less than 2, that was 1 or none. That doesn't include the 2. And so we have that. And for less than or equal to 2, I could just hit second enter and change that to a 2. And what that does is add together the 2 I've already gotten, 0.6778. So I'm going to move this back, and you can see my work here if you weren't sure about how to do any of that. Hopefully that helps seeing it on the calculator. But remember to always show your work when you are doing it on an exam with the formula, or showing it like this or like this. Okay, now we're moving on to something that's not binomial, and it's not because when it says once the bottle lands right side up, that makes it not a fixed number of trials. So that's specifically what we say until the first success, and that's going to be called geometric, not binomial. And so that the way we get that name is from, if you remember looking at sequences and series, we had a geometric sequence where you multiply by the same number over and over. And so if you notice here, every time we increase it by 1 try, we multiply it by 0.8. And so that's a geometric sequence there. All right, a couple more things that we want to address here. And let's see. First, geometric distributions will have the phrase until the first success. And you can see in this chart how as you go across, x equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're multiplying by 0.8 every time, etc. And so that means that it will always be skewed to the right when we do a histogram. So it's always going to start as tall as it gets and then go to the right if we were to draw that out. That's the shape. And then we have the center, expect, that's our mean. And that equals 1 over the probability. So I could have done 1 over 0.2 to get 5 flips. And then our standard deviation, we use this symbol. And then here's our formula for that. It's square root 1 minus p all over p. We don't have to derive that one, you just have to know that. It's on your formula sheet, so you don't have to memorize it. What else did I want to tell you about geometric distributions? Oh, the formula. So, this formula right here is very close. We're going to have P of x equals x. And what you should notice is that 0.8 is 1 minus our probability, dx minus 1, and then we always multiply by that probability at the end. So this formula is on your formula sheet. It's very important for you to know. Oh, the last thing is a couple more, actually 2 more things. One, there's never an x equals 0, because you can't get your first success on the 0th try. And this goes on forever, so it's infinite, but it still sums to 1, like a regular probability distribution should. And that's basically connecting your pre-calc knowledge that an infinite geometric series will sum to 1, whether or not it goes forever or not. Okay, so let's take some notes on this page. For geometric, we're still going to have the same 4 criteria. So notice everything was the same on the last section, except we were counting the trials until the first success instead of having a fixed number of trials. But it was still, he either made it or didn't. Flips are still independent, and the probability of success stayed 20% for every trial. And so those still are the same. We have the same stuff. We just have an F instead of an N because we're counting trials. The phrase first success is why we use the letter F. Then we have our formula and shape, center, and variability for describing the distribution. All right. Now, I want you guys to try to check your understanding with this knowledge. If you go to second vars on your calculator, you might notice some stuff that is very similar to the binomials that we use in our calculator. So second vars, scroll up, and you'll see a GeoMet PDF and a GeoMet CDF. So if you want to try to use that, that's fine. I'll show you in red how to do that once I show you the answers. So pause the video, try it out, and then you can come back to the video to check your work. All right, we got BIFs, geometric, because of the phrase until finding gum. For success, really you're going to be looking for until to see if it's geometric or binomial. Here we have our formula, but again, we could have done GeoMet PDF, and then you put in your P and your X. And so I'll show you that on the calculator if you want to see. That's second vars, GeoMet PDF. Oops, wrong one. Second vars. And then our P was 0.3, and our X, this was on the 3rd try. And we get the same answer that you get doing it by hand. Now also, it's probably just faster to do it by hand in the formula, but in case you want to use it, you can. As long as you always show work. By the 3rd means less than or equal to. If I tell you guys something is due by the 3rd, I know many of you will be doing it on the 3rd. So remember, that includes the third time. So less than or equal to. And then remember, expect is the mean. And then would you be surprised? Remember, you are surprised for low probabilities, and you're not surprised for higher ones. So it would be very unlikely for us to find gum on the 30th student, the last person in our class. And if that were to happen, I would be very suspicious of the previous 29 and think maybe they had been lying to me. So I would have some evidence against them. And then number 6, the formula for standard deviation. Again, it's on your formula sheet. You don't have to memorize it, but you do have to show your work and know when to use it. All right, hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.